which other big-named NFLers should call it quits?
There's not one person that can tell you Zeke has anything left.
And which ones should sign up for at least one more dance? Well, today we present 5 NFL players who need to retire now and 5 who need to come back for one more year. Retire Odell Beckham Jr. With 3 Pro Bowl selections, a Super Bowl 56 championship ring, and tens of millions in the bank, you can't say that OBJ didn't do well for himself in the NFL. But you also have to feel for the guy, because he was on a Hall of Fame trajectory before an onslaught of injuries derailed the back half of his prime years. Beckham suffered season-ending injuries in 2017 and 2020 with the New York Giants and Cleveland Browns, respectively. The Browns waived OBJ in the midst of the 2021 season, and he was scooped up by the Rams. Beckham helped the Rams to a Super Bowl 56 title. Unfortunately, he suffered a torn ACL in that game and decided to sit out the 2022 campaign to recover from the injury. Beckham spent the entire 2023 season with the Baltimore Ravens, catching 35 passes for 565 yards and a touchdown, playing as a solid secondary weapon for MVP Lamar Jackson. And just when it looked like OBJ might still be a useful weapon, he had a disastrous 2024 season with the Miami Dolphins. There, he caught just 9 passes for 55 yards and was waived in December. Play one more year? Von Miller. What a strange 5-year stretch it's been for Miller. Miss all of 2020 to injury, get traded to the Rams during the 2021 season, and win a second Super Bowl. Then suffer a season-ending injury in 2022 with the Buffalo Bills, have the worst season of your career in 2023, bounce back with a solid campaign in 2024, but then get released in a cap-saving move anyway. Okay, so you got all of that? Good. Miller had 6 sacks last season and finished with an excellent Pro Football Focus grade of 82.4 in 2024. The man can still play. His 2 Super Bowl rings speak for themselves. Like, the man is a big game player and winner. Miller may be 36, but he is still borderline Pro Bowl caliber and could be the final piece needed to get a Super Bowl hopeful over the top. His spot in the Hall of Fame is ensured, but it doesn't hurt to pursue a 3rd championship ring and truly cement yourself among the best of the best NFL pass rushers. The only 2 superior pass rushers of Miller's generation, Aaron Donald and J.J. Watt, retired early. Don't walk away now when there's so much juice left, Vaughn. Get out there for another year and pursue a 3rd ring while you're still at it. Retire Michael Thomas. Can't guard Mike was among the NFL's top wide receivers over his first 4 NFL seasons from 2016 to 2019. He exceeded the 90 catch and 1,100 yard mark each year and won Offensive Player of the Year honors in 2019 after catching 149 passes, a single-season record, by the way, for 1,725 yards and 9 touchdowns. Unfortunately, much like Odell Beckham Jr., Thomas went from a Hall of Fame shoo-in to an afterthought because of a tragic amount of injuries. He missed the entire 2021 season with an ankle injury and was limited to 20 combined games over the 2020, 2022, and 2023 campaigns. The Saints released Thomas after the 2023 season, and he went unsigned for 2024. Play one more year, Stefon Gilmore. In an era where most cornerbacks, even the very best, declined by their early 30s, Gilmore has displayed remarkable longevity through his age 34 season. The 2019 Defensive Player of the Year was rock solid with the Minnesota Vikings last season, recording 9 pass breakups and an interception. He was inconsistent in coverage, but garnered a stellar PFF run defense grade of 77.6, 28th among corners. Even in his prime, Gilmore was never the fastest or most athletic corner. He was all about instincts and high football IQ, which was why he was lights out for Bill Belichick's New England Patriots all those years. So, yes, Gilmore can still play in the right system as a rotational player, and his championship pedigree and big game experience would help a lot of teams. Even though he's been waiting a while for a contract, Gilmore ought to stay patient and sign up for his age 35 season. There is a lot of gas left in the tank, folks. Retire James Bradberry. After 4 seasons with the Carolina Panthers, this late bloomer signed with the New York Giants in 2020 and carved out a strong back half of his career. Bradberry earned his only Pro Bowl nod in 2020 after recording 3 interceptions and a career-high 18 pass breakups. The G-Men released Bradberry in a cap-saving move after the 2021 season, and he wound up signing with the NFC East rival Eagles. Bradberry and Darius Slay formed the league's best cornerback tandem in 2022 and led the Eagles to a Super Bowl 57 appearance, where they lost to the Chiefs in controversial fashion. But woof, did Bradberry ever come back down to earth in 2023. Per Pro Football Reference, he allowed 740 receiving yards and 11 touchdowns in coverage, yielding an opposing passer rating of 114.3 when targeted. Unfortunately, a torn Achilles sidelined Barry for the entire 2024 season, as his Eagles went on to beat KC in Super Bowl 59. Bradberry still got a ring, though, to finally put the cherry on top of his career, but the Eagles released Bradberry in a cap-saving move following their Super Bowl triumph. And honestly, it just feels like the right time for him to walk away. Play one more year, Shaq Barrett. The two-time Super Bowl champion was cut by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a cap-saving move last year. He signed with the Miami Dolphins in free agency, but wound up announcing his retirement in July. Just when we thought the curtains had closed, Barrett announced his desire to continue playing. So the Dolphins decided to waive Barrett, who returned to the Bucs for their regular season finale against the New Orleans Saints. Barrett missed most of 2022 and played just one game last year. So his body is well rested and should have plenty of juice left. With 2 rings on his resume, this renowned playoff performer should be widely coveted by other Super Bowl hopefuls. Barrett doesn't even have to play a full season. He can take his time and decide on a team in the middle of the season, when teams will be even more desperate to add pass rushing help. Bottom line, Barrett is far from finished and should put off retirement for at least one more year. Retire Dalvin Cook. You gotta feel for Dalvin Cook, who was among football's top running backs during his tenure with the Minnesota Vikings. Cook exceeded 1,000 yards rushing 4 straight years from 2019 to 2022, before many released him in a cap-saving move. The New York Jets, who had just acquired Aaron Rodgers, tried adding to their super team by signing Cook to join forces with Breece Hall. But Cook was a complete non-factor there, rushing for just 214 yards and no touchdowns in 15 games. Cook was picked up by the Baltimore Ravens late in the year, but got no playing time. The Dallas Cowboys signed Cook ahead of the 2024 season, but he got just 8 carries on the year for 20 rushing yards. Now 30, Cook is well past his best before date, and should probably just retire. Hey, I'm just saying, it is better to do it while you're ahead. Waiting another year or two to hang up the cleats will just have everyone screaming, "What? That guy was still active?" Play one more year, CJ Mosley. The New York Jets released a 5-time Pro Bowler in a cap-saving move, and a part of a giant roster reset that saw them bid farewell to Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, and DJ Reed. Mosley was a mainstay on the Jets' defense for the past 5 years, but injuries limited him to 4 games last season. The thing is, though, is that age has not at all caught up to the 33-year-old corner. In 2023, Mosley finished with a career-best 82.9 grade at Pro Football Focus. His 90.6 coverage grade was tops in the league as well, and even in the limited action that he saw last year, Mosley still recorded a 74.7 PFF grade. Mosley still has plenty of high-quality football left in him, and it's honestly stunning that he's gone unsigned for this long. We sure hope that the ex-Baltimore Raven isn't ready to call it quits, because Mosley still has at least one more year in his spectacular career. Heck, possibly even more. Retire Ezekiel Elliott. Zeke is one of the many former superstar running backs of his era whose prime ended much sooner than expected. Think Todd Gurley, Devontae Freeman, Le'Veon Bell, and David Johnson, among others. What can we say? Baltimore Ravens star Derrick Henry is an exception to playing at a high level in your 30s, not the rule. Elliott won 2 rushing titles in his first 3 NFL seasons and was crucial in helping the Dak Prescott-led Dallas Cowboys emerge as a consistent playoff team in the NFC. But the all-pro form of Elliott has not shown up since 2019. Yeah, he was effective in 2020, 2021, and 2022, but 876 rushing yards and 12 touchdowns as Tony Pollard's understudy in the latter year just weren't enough to justify his hefty contract. And thus, Jerry Jones cut him after the season. Elliott had an uneventful 1-year stop with the New England Patriots in 2023, but in typical Jerry Jones fashion, Elliott was brought back anyway on a 1-year deal in 2024. There, he rushed for 226 yards and 3 touchdowns, averaging a very pathetic 3.1 yards per carry. So, yeah, Elliott is done. Elliott has averaged under 4 yards per carry in 3 straight years. Elliott has been a victim of the before 30 wall for 4 years now. So what is the point of hanging around and hoping a desperate team will sign you when you're hardly going to see the ball anyway? Play one more year, Teddy Bridgewater. Bridgewater's initial retirement in 2024 was awfully surprising, honestly. But like Shaq Barrett, retirement became boring starting for Bridgewater, who then returned to the Detroit Lions late in the 2024 season. Bridgewater should keep playing because, as a high-end backup, Teddy Two Gloves will never know when his time to start will come again. Even if he's unsigned by the time Week 1 rolls around, other teams will eventually want him when they need more QB depth. But hey, which other NFL player should retire right now, and which ones do you think should play for one more year? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, then clicking the like button helps us out a ton, and you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.